What's going on, everyone? So here's the situation with the Los Angeles Lakers. Things are heating up in the front office, and the buzz right now is all about the center position. It's no secret that the Lakers have a huge hole to fill. In the middle of their lineup, they're not just looking for someone who can plug a gap or provide minutes here and there. No. They're in the market for a legitimate starting caliber big man who can anchor the defense, finish plays around the rim, and ideally even offer some upside on both ends of the court. But that's not all. They also need a solid backup center. Someone dependable who can come off the bench, provide quality minutes, and maintain the team's physicality and presence in the paint without causing a drop-off when the starters. Take a breather. Now sure, there's always that idea floating around that the Lakers could go the development route. Draft a young big man, maybe someone late in the second round, and hope he turns into a gem over time. But let's be honest here, more often than not, a center picked 55th overall is probably not going to be ready to step into a real role from day one. That's just not how it usually works in the NBA. You never want to put limits on a young player. We've seen surprises before, and you always have to leave room for that. But if we're talking about someone realistically contributing right away, that player is probably more of a third stringer at best. Someone to develop quietly in the background while the real rotation pieces handle the heavy lifting. And look, if you want to bring in a developmental guy as your third center, no problem. That makes sense. That kind of long-term investment is important for any team. But the top two spots in that depth chart need to be locked in. This isn't the time to roll the dice on a project when you're trying to compete with the top of the Western Conference. You want someone with real experience, real production, and real upside. So with that in mind, two names have recently popped up as serious, realistic targets for the Lakers. And fans of the team have probably heard these names before. First up, there's Luke Kornet. If you follow the channel, you already know I did a whole video breaking down his fit and what he could bring to the team. I like him, honestly. He's got size, he understands team concepts, and he can stretch the floor a little bit. But if I'm being honest, I see Kornet more as a quality backup than a true starting option. That's not a knock on him. It's just about matching roles with skill sets. In a bench role, I think he could be excellent. Someone who gives you reliable minutes, protects the rim in spurts, and fits into the system without needing a lot of touches or play calls. He's also got good chemistry with teammates and seems like a locker room guy, which matters when you're building out your rotation. But the more interesting name, the one that really has fans buzzing, is Goga Bitadze. Now, I've seen a lot of people mention Goga as a possible fit, and the more you look into it, and the more it starts to make sense. We're talking about a guy who's 6'11", weighs around 250 pounds, and just turned 25, so he's right in that sweet spot. Young enough to still have upside and room to grow, but experienced enough to step in and contribute immediately. And the Lakers love players in that age range. They're building for now, but they're also keeping one eye on the future. Goga's been quietly putting together a really solid NBA career so far, and his time with the Orlando Magic last season opened a lot of eyes. He's got good athleticism, can finish lobs, plays with physicality, and even shows flashes of being able to create a bit for himself. That's not something you usually expect from a traditional setter, but he's shown glimpses of face-up moves, short rolls, and touch around the basket that suggest there's more to his game than just catching dunks, and that's what makes him really intriguing. You're not just getting a paint protector, you're getting a guy who can actually keep the offense flowing in certain lineups. Financially, he also makes sense. Goga's on the books for about $7.6 million next season, which is a very manageable number. That kind of salary means you can make a move for him without gutting your roster or giving up half your rotation. The big question becomes, what does Orlando want in return? Because this isn't a throwaway piece. Goga is young, productive, and entering a contract year. That gives him real value both on the court and in trade talks. So if the Lakers are serious about solidifying their front court, this is a move that might actually require giving up a real asset. Maybe not a starter, but certainly something more than just end of the bench pieces. But if that's what it takes to lock down the center position, it might be worth it. Goga could absolutely be the guy who steps in, holds down the starting job, and gives this team a new look in the paint. And then you bring in someone like Kornet as your backup, and suddenly you've got depth, size, and flexibility. You're no longer scrambling every time Anthony Davis has to sit or gets into foul trouble. You got guys you can trust, and Goga fits next to AD in ways that could be really interesting. He can run the floor, he's got enough strength to hold his own against physical bigs, and he's got some rim protection instincts that would pair nicely with Davis. Now let's talk a little more about what Goga actually did in Orlando. The numbers don't lie. He played in 70 games, started 42 of them, and averaged just over 20 minutes per contest. That's a legit role. He shot 61% from the field overall, which is exactly what you want from your big man. Efficient, high percentage looks around the basket. He only took about 5 shots per game, but again, that's a role. He wasn't the focal point of the offense. He was doing the dirty work, cleaning up misses, finishing lobs, setting screens, and making smart cuts. From beyond the arc, the numbers weren't great, around 11% on less than 1 attempt per game. But let's not overreact. That's not his game. You don't bring Goga in expecting him to space the floor like a Brook Lopez. But he has shown in flashes that he can knock one down if left completely alone. That matters because even just the threat of being able to hit a 3 can open up driving lanes and force defenses to respect you a little bit more. He's not a volume shooter by any means, and you don't want to see him launching from deep regularly, but if he can knock down the occasional open look, that's a bonus. Rebounding, solid. He averaged 6.6 boards per game in those 20 minutes of action, and that included 2.4 offensive rebounds. That's huge. Offensive rebounding is one of the most underrated parts of the game, and it can be a game changer in close matchups. Getting those extra possessions, those second chance points, it adds up. And it shows that Goga plays with energy, stays active, and doesn't just camp out under the rim waiting for things to happen. He goes after it. Add in a couple of assists, a steal, and around 1.5 blocks per game, and now you're really starting to see the full picture. In limited minutes, he's giving you production across the board. And that's not even factoring in what playing alongside a creator like LeBron James or possibly Luka Doncic, depending on the rumors, could do for his numbers. Because let's be real here. If you're giving Goga 7 points per game, now playing with more dynamic playmakers probably bumps that number up without him having to do anything extra. Just being in the right place, rolling hard to the rim, catching those lobs, those are easy buckets that'll come naturally with the right teammates. And then there's the contract angle. Goga's about to hit a contract year, which means Orlando has to make a decision. Are they going to pay him? Do they see him as part of their future? Or are they going to move on and make space for other bigs? Because let's not forget, Orlando is stacked in the front court. They've got bodies everywhere. At some point, they're going to need to choose who stays and who goes. That could open the door for a team like the Lakers to swoop in and make a move. And look, the Lakers have a little history here, right? Think about the Orlando to Los Angeles pipeline. Shaquille O'Neal, Dwight Howard. Now, obviously, Goga is not on that level. No one's saying he's the next Shaq or even the next Dwight. But what we are saying is that he could be the next valuable big man to make that journey, to take that next step in his career wearing purple and gold. Given a real opportunity, real minutes, real role, real trust, who knows what kind of impact he could make? Maybe he doesn't become a superstar, but he could very well become a consistent, reliable piece that helps his team win games. And if you stretch those per game numbers out to per 36 minutes, it gets even more interesting. 13 points, 12 rebounds, 4 of those on the offensive glass, over 3 assists, 1.5 steals, and 2.5 blocks. That's serious production. That's not fantasy numbers. That's what he's already doing, scaled up. And sure, per 36 isn't perfect. Not every player maintains the same efficiency with more minutes. But it gives you a picture. It shows you what's possible. And in Goga's case, it shows a guy who, given more responsibility, could absolutely rise to the occasion. Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on. There's been a growing buzz in NBA circles this week that Michael Porter Jr. might be the Los Angeles Lakers' next big acquisition. Although nothing official has been announced yet, insiders suggest the Lakers are seriously eyeing Porter as a potential game changer for their roster moving forward. The whispers started after recent reports hinted at ongoing talks between Porter's camp and the Lakers front office, sparking excitement among fans eager for a fresh spark on the team. Michael Porter Jr., known for his smooth scoring ability and sharp shooting from beyond the arc, could bring a much-needed offensive boost to the Lakers, who have struggled with consistency in recent seasons. With his ability to stretch the floor and create scoring opportunities, Porter fits the mold of the modern NBA wing player that teams crave. His talent, combined with his youth and potential, makes him an intriguing target for the Lakers, especially as they look to build a squad capable of competing at the highest level again. Though Porter's journey in the league has seen its share of ups and downs due to injuries early in his career, his flashes of brilliance when healthy have been impossible to ignore. Lakers fans have been clamoring for a versatile scorer who can complement LeBron James and Anthony Davis, and Porter's name keeps surfacing as that perfect piece. If the Lakers manage to pull off this signing, it could signal a new direction for the team, one focused on blending experience with youthful energy. The Lakers front office, known for its willingness to take calculated risks, seems ready to bet on Porter's potential to rebound into a star role. This rumored move could also indicate a strategic shift, adding more shooting and offensive versatility to their lineup, which has been a glaring weakness at times. It's worth noting that Porter's style aligns well with Coach Darvin Ham's vision of fast-paced, dynamic basketball, which only adds fuel to the speculation. Of course, nothing is set in stone yet, and as with all rumors in the NBA, things can change rapidly. But the possibility of Michael Porter Jr. suiting up in purple and gold has already generated a wave of optimism among Lakers supporters. Could this be the missing piece that helps the Lakers reclaim their status as title contenders? The coming weeks will be crucial in determining whether this buzzing rumor turns into reality. But for now, the Lakers-Porter connection remains one of the hottest topics in NBA offseason chatter. Stay informed exclusively about Los Angeles Lakers news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep receiving daily updates. Also, share your opinion on the news in the comments, as your contribution is crucial for the Lakers. Stay tuned for the next video.